Dealing with tough times is never easy. Some days can feel very hard and make us want to give up. Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us how to handle life's difficulties. It gives tips on how to stay strong when things get rough. In this video, I will share 10 bits of Stoic wisdom to help you keep going even through your most difficult days. With the right mindset, you can make it through challenges. Learn simple Stoic ideas to change how you think. Use them to feel better and not let hard days bring you down or make you want to quit. By seeing things differently using Stoic advice, you can continue forward during the worst times and not lose hope. This video explains Stoic methods to uplift you. Use them to improve hard days and remind you that you can handle whatever life throws at you if you approach it the right way. Progress rarely follows a straight line. Setbacks, mistakes, delays, and failures are inevitable parts of any meaningful endeavor. As renowned Stoic author Ryan Holiday described it, success is the product of steady, daily action. The path to any worthy goal includes obstacles that test us but ultimately make us stronger and more resilient. Stoicism teaches to anticipate and accept that problems will arise. Face setbacks with courage, learn from the experience, course correct if needed, and continue. Reframe each impediment as an essential step in your long-term development, not as a sign to quit. With grit and perseverance, you will overcome the challenges and become wiser for having conquered them. Progress may sometimes feel slow and difficult, but persisting through the ups and downs ultimately leads to growth. Common pitfalls arise when we fixate on elements we can't influence rather than focusing inward. Failed relationship, delayed job promotion, financial loss. While painful, much of what distresses us stems from external forces beyond our control. But as Stoics emphasize, we have sovereignty over our perspectives and reactions. The next time you feel frustrated or defeated, pause. Recognize the difference between what you can and cannot command. Redirect your energy only towards what is within your power. Your thoughts, attitude, efforts, and decisions today. Disregard what is not. With discipline, concentrate on taking the next right action rather than worrying over unchangeable outcomes. Liberate yourself from needless suffering by letting go of what you cannot control. Master self-rule despite chaotic surroundings. It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters, Epictetus famously said. Two people can experience the identical event, yet have wildly divergent emotional responses. One lets it roll off their back, while the other obsesses for days. Why? Because how we appraise situations determines how they impact us. Stoics understand external things cannot damage our inner peace without consent. Adopt the mindset that you always have a choice to mentally process difficulties through a lens of learning, optimism, and rational action rather than victimhood, pessimism, and complaint. This grants you incredible freedom and power. Circumstances don't control your emotional and psychological state. You do. By seeing situations clearly for what they are, you can choose not to be harmed even when facing misfortune. Difficult events often trigger sudden intense reactions before we have time to think them through. Knee-jerk responses rooted in anger, fear, or other emotions frequently make matters worse. Stoics advise taking a breath and responding consciously. Interrupt automatic patterns by inserting space between the provocation and your reaction. In the interval, engage reason to process logically instead of emotionally. Question initial impulses and mentally consider the situation from multiple angles and contexts. Then consciously decide how to best respond. This prevents rash words or actions you might later regret. Over time, practicing reasoned response reduces reactionary outbursts and makes calculated, thoughtful behavior your instinct. By using moments of adversity as opportunities to activate logic over emotion, you gain long-term composure and clarity. The wisdom gained then helps you overcome future trials. How you define a problem largely determines how solvable it is. Situations rarely arrive with objective meaning. Rather, our minds construct and assign significance based on limited biases and assumptions. Two people can have wildly varied interpretations of the same event. Stoics understood the power of perspective. When you encounter major difficulties, consciously reframe the narrative. If your mind automatically labels a new obstacle as terrible or catastrophic, pause and reconsider. Recategorize seemingly awful developments through a lens of learning, adaptation, and growth. How might this challenge actually make you tougher or lead to needed adjustments? Ask probing questions to shift thought patterns. Also amplify positive elements the mind overlooks when fixated on negative aspects. What small improvements or encouraging signs accompany the problem? Intentionally expanding your viewpoint makes life's hardships feel less severe and more manageable. The ancient Stoics viewed times of crisis and pain as profound opportunities for wisdom. If processed correctly, endure tribulations not just to overcome them, but to actively gain deep learning and personal growth. Lean into hardship purposefully. When faced with failure or heartache, most only wish for the experience to end as soon as possible. Stoics, in contrast, patiently examine every facet for subtle teachings that enrich perspectives and aid future success. Ask probing questions no one considers when life flows smoothly. What vulnerabilities or blind spots has this adversity revealed that can now make me wiser? How specifically could this setback help me rethink outdated assumptions? Even seemingly devastating events contain transformational lessons. Seek them out. In harnessing challenges for self-betterment, no struggle is ever fully in vain. Through this lens, hard times produce gifts of lifelong learning that far outweigh temporary discomforts. Coping with extensive troubles or chronic burdens tests even disciplined Stoics' limits. In prolonged adversity, energy flagged, motivation drained, minor frustrations compounded until continuation felt unbearable. Stoicism's solution: connect daily difficulties to overarching purposes, outlast exhausting episodes through consciously reinforcing how subtler everyday efforts contribute to actualizing your higher goals. When frustration swells, pause to remember why you began in the first place, your why. Use this to spark renewed positivity and bigger picture priority that overrides momentary loss of progress or zeal. Attach daily actions to underlying meaning, so no struggle seems isolated or futile. With purpose as fuel during times when usual inspiration runs dry, you'll discover reservoirs of tenacity and resolve to prevail. Prolonged stresses often generate rumination on the past and fixation on the future that overwhelm capacity to handle the here and now. Thoughts circle endlessly about what you should have done differently or how impending catastrophe looms ahead. Both represent cognitive projections that displace attention and energy from the present. Stoics train concentration on the current moment, the only temporal space within which we can take action. Refocusing on tangible, controllable decisions directly ahead grants relief from the imagined ghosts of prior errors or impending troubles that fuel anxiety. When caught in cycles of past regret or future worry, make a conscious effort to redirect attention to the next constructive step available now. What reasonable course of action can I pursue at this instant? Reframing thoughts onto the present breaks useless rumination to build momentum. Character and fortitude grow like exercise muscles. Strain prompts adaptation and eventual growth of capacity if pushed consistently near, but not past total, exhaustion. As renowned psychologist Angela Duckworth revealed in her studies on grit, resilience arises through small daily efforts compounding gradually toward mastery. Stoics saw adversity as training to develop mental toughness. Enduring repeated discomfort and difficulty, like lifting weights for the psyche, ultimately cultivates profound strength over time. Expect this soreness of stress as the path to increased capacity. View each new challenge as a weighted rep to enhance inner reserves and to build up courage, confidence, and composure. Leaning into small difficulties develops the vital stamina and emotional resilience to later withstand even devastating hardships. The bravery to withstand repeated setbacks signals profound inner might and self-trust, what Stoics called courage. Cultivating courage and its close companion, hope, makes sufferable conditions survivable. While grim external realities may temporarily overwhelm, the daring faith that improvement remains possible sustains spirits and emboldens perseverance. Studies prove high hope individuals rebound quicker with less lasting distress than others experiencing equivalent adversity. Pairing courage to continue despite pains with belief in better days arriving allows you to endure virtually any misfortune life delivers. Though colossal challenges will periodically appear and defeat strike days, dark as night, maintain conviction light still flickers ahead if courageously nurtured. Renew this tiny flame whenever winds howl fiercest. With boldness fortified by optimism, no hardship will break you, now or ever. Dealing with hard times is a part of life. Some days will feel too difficult and make you want to quit. Using Stoic methods can help you stay strong even when you feel low. This video shared 10 pieces of Stoic wisdom for tough days. Put them into action to change your thinking and feel more hopeful. Remember that problems are normal during any hard effort. Keep trying steadfastly despite troubles. Control your thoughts and attitudes even when things happen that you don't like. Make the choice to not let difficulties make you feel defeated inside. Respond to challenges calmly and reasonably. See bad situations in a more positive light. Learn from the hard things rather than feel distressed. Connect your daily efforts to a larger purpose. Focus on taking the right action now instead of worrying. Expect to build strength each time you work through something tough, and have courage that you have the power to endure and see better times again soon. Using Stoic teachings can help you manage the worst days. Face every difficulty, knowing that with resilience and wisdom, this too shall pass. You have the inner strength to keep going.